Namaste everybody, I'm Cam from foundationmethod.com. I'm the host of the program, and today is the second part of the series on how to use yoga props. And today's series, we're going to be talking about how to use your yoga strap in class or in bodyweight training. So I've broken it down into a few sections. First one is, what is a yoga strap? So nice and simple. Second part, what do I use if I don't have a yoga strap, or if I'm waiting for the one that I'm going to order on the little links that Cam gives me in this video. Third is, what sort of strap should I use? Bit of a tongue twister. The fourth bit is why use that particular strap? So there's a good bunch of reasons around that. The next bit is, why should I use a strap? The next bit is, where can I buy one? So that's where I'm going to give you some links and make it nice and easy. And then how to use my strap, and how to use my strap in a basic yoga class. So I'm going to take you through some of the postures that you might find and show you how I use it to assist in that yoga class. All right, sound good? Let's do it. So what is a yoga strap? So this is a yoga strap right here. This is my yoga strap. Usually about 2 to 3 meters in length. This one's about 2.5. It's a little bit short for me. And between 25 and 38 mils thick, and comfortable to hold, able to make into a loop. So you've got this little buckle here, or that's more of a latch, but it's a buckle, and then able to be one long piece. So I'm able to take that out and make it one giant length like that. So what to use if I don't have one of these guys? A really big beach towel. So something that sort of is about body length, and you could sort of wrap your foot in that, and then you could take your foot up to the sky. So beach towel's a really good one. And if you're practicing in hot yoga classes, you can just use the towel that you've got on the mat. If you've got a belt, you can use a belt. If you've got one that's long enough, that one's a bit short, but it can do. And I'll show you just how you can use a strap if it's a bit short for you. So I'll talk to that a little bit later on. Kimono, you could use kimono. That's not the best. You do want something that's really firm, and it can take like a decent amount of body weight, or at least the weight of your leg. But this is a pretty solid kimono, live and direct from Japan. So you can use a kimono, or like a dressing gown strap or something like that. Piece of rope, Pilates band, so a fitness band. They're good. Only problem with those guys is they tend to stretch. Because of the nature of TheraBands and those type of things. They're designed to stretch as resistance training. So not the best if you're wanting to be really stable, but they will do if you're kind of if you're lacking for a strap, or you're waiting for one to arrive. So the next part, we're going to talk to you about what sort of strap should I use. So 2.5 to 3 meters is the general length. I recommend going for the 3 meter length. Main reason is it's easier to shorten them than try and lengthen them. So if you do have a strap that's too small, something that I will do is that I'll sort of knit a couple of these together by using this end and that end of the other strap, and make a giant strap, and then make that one a little bit shorter. So if I've got people that are really tall in my class, I might put 2 of these together. But generally speaking, the 3 meter ones never have any problem. Even with the 6'6" rugby players, tends to not be an issue. 38 mils. Organic cotton yoga belt with a double D ring fastener is the one that I recommend. Now that's not this guy. This is like a plastic latch, and I'll talk to you about how to use this one a little bit later on. The double D fasteners, like the little steel rings, and I'm going to give you a link to this so you can figure out exactly what it is that I'm talking about just in the comments. But the double D ring fasteners tend to pull back against each other and lock the straps really well at any length. So if you're trying to fasten the strap to a certain length, they're really good. And they don't have a lot of wear and tear on the strap itself, and they're easy to use. So they're easy to undo, and they're easy to vary. There are some straps out there that've got like latch devices, grip devices. They tend to do a lot of wear and tear on the strap, and they're also quite bulky, a little bit uncomfortable. They hurt when you lie in them. They hurt if you hit yourself with them. Trust me, I've tried it. Not recommended. So you've got a few different of the variations on the fastening device, but the double D ring fasteners are the best ones that I've found so far. So try and get your 3 meters and your 38 millimeters if possible. The EMP length that I'll put in the comments has got those there for you to buy. So why should I use that particular strap? So again, as I was saying, 3 meters, generally nobody's height has any problems with that. Using the double D rings, the metal ring is the easiest, most durable fastening option, better than plastic. These things do crack, and the wear and tear, of course, of your clamps on those. And generally speaking, is a bit of a hack. The double D ring, simple cotton ones are cheaper. So, you've got all your expensive brands out there that certainly don't drink the Kool-Aid when it comes to straps. They're not always better. Like good solid double D ring, stainless steel is what you're looking for. You don't want the cheaper double D rings because sometimes they open up. So it's got to be a nice strong stainless steel. So why should I use a strap? So again, this is one of those things where some yoga teachers will say, it's kind of cheating, or you shouldn't be trying to do that pose until your body's ready for it. I disagree, and the reason I'm saying that is because sometimes anatomically your body is just not going to be able to get some certain maneuvers or postures that other people are going to. For example, if you're trying to bind your arms behind your back to hold on to your wrists around your legs in like a twisted lunge, for example, if you have little T-Rex arms, it doesn't matter how deep you push or how much weight you lose in the midsection, you're just never going to get that grip around onto your wrist. It's just not going to happen. So a strap is going to allow you to get into the posture without crunching down the spine. So without minimizing alignment technique just to get into the pose, it's going to give you the sensation of it. Not only that, when it comes to shoulders, a lot of the reason I bring a yoga strap into the rooms is for things like in ragdoll, and I'll demonstrate this a little later on, when you're holding it, as opposed to binding the fingers behind the back and then sort of cranking through the shoulders, which I get a bit of compression because of the way bones in my shoulders are built. So I feel that pinching sensation. That's a good indicator that you're starting to get bone and bone compression. When I use a strap, I can straighten my arms and then I get a deeper stretch and I get much better gains, much better sustainable results in the stretching of my shoulders. So there's a couple of reasons there. To modify a posture, so if you're looking to make the posture a little bit more accessible, again, I love using props because it gives people a sense of the posture before they get into it, so then as they strengthen, they remember how it should feel when they arrive in the posture for the first time of their own accord. The body starts to remember. And honestly, because of that remembering, sometimes I've felt inspired to avail that posture into my body during my class without the use of a prop, just because I knew how it should feel. So there's another reason there as well. So it kind of sets the neural pathways that movement and that posture is available in your body. To intensify a posture. So if you're in a forward fold and you want to deepen the hamstring stretch and you just can't get hold of your toes, holding on to the straps there and pulling yourself forward so that you get that really acute angle right at the hips, and then you focus into a nice deep hamstring stretch without putting extra load onto the back and subjecting the load to the vertebral column in an unhealthy way. It can help you get that beautiful pull forward and that acute angle there so that you can focus intensity into the hamstring stretch, so therefore intensifying the posture, not just modifying it. Assist in mobility in a posture. So if you're trying to get into a twist, again, I'm going to use the bind in the revolving lunge idea. and you're forcing yourself into it and you feel like the spine is collapsing, if you're using a strap and that allows you to lengthen spine and grow out of it, it'll also allow you to get a deeper thoracic twist, or at least isolate it a lot more when you're not sort of compressing the spine. And that's going to give you a little bit more mobility, or a mobility sensation, which is wonderful if you haven't tried it. If you're used to struggling to get into your binds, try the strap and feel the freedom. Access movements that require straps to do. So yeah, if you're coming into a much more advanced posture, and in the demonstrations later on, I'll show you Kapinjalasana. Now, I need to use a strap to get into that because of my body dynamics and the range of motion I've got in my back, and to make it safe for me to access that posture. So yeah, I wouldn't have been able to get into that without a strap use. Creating resistance to deepen PNF style stretching. So PNF, and I'll put a link in the comments as well. So that's, there's a few different sorts of PNF style stretching, but the one that I speak to mostly is the pressure and release, where you've got the antagonist, and I'll use the legs as an example. You've got your quads on top, you've got your hamstring underneath. When I flex my quads and I press down through my heel, my hamstring releases. And by having a strap there to help me that with that, and I can sort of press and release and press and release, I can then sort of guide my own PNF style stretching without having, you know, the classic PT with the foot on the shoulder leaning over you, pushing you forward, and you're pushing back onto them. So yeah, straps can help you deepen PNF style stretching, and that's a really good way to actively lengthen your muscles as well. And yeah, so that's all the reasons as to why I should use my straps. Where can I buy one? So again, I'm referring here, if you're in Brisbane, Yogi Cam, support your local business. These guys have got everything there, and I've got a link there for a 2.5 meter yoga belt, they call it. There's a couple of different names, yoga belt or yoga strap. They're the main ones. And then international or bulk orders, EMPIND.com. So EMP Industries, they're the guys that supply a lot of the big yoga studios around the country, and they can deal in bigger bulk orders, and they've got all the different variations as well, and a couple of funky colors. So what you're looking for, 2 or 3 meters, 25 mil to 38 mil in thickness, and 2 to 3 meters in length. And again, go for the 3 meters if you're unsure, or if you're new to it, because then it'll suit everybody. How to use my strap. All right, so you can hold it in your hands. You can take it under your foot, behind your head. You can use it like a seat belt across the body if you're doing a yin class. You can use it around the waist and then bind over the feet if you're again in a yin class. Really useful in a yin class. Don't do yin practice without a strap. It makes it a little. Well, you can do yin classes without straps, but I love practicing yin with a strap. And then bind your feet to a block. So if you're trying to create the feet to the sky and for a hip flexor stretch, and you're putting a bolster underneath your bum, you can bind your feet to the block to keep that internal rotation to focus on the rec fem. So yeah, to hold the body in place. And if anyone's done any Iyengar yoga, you'll know that they bind your body with lots of different straps in particular parts of the practice there to deepen the release, so that you don't actually have to hold yourself in those different postures, and the muscles can release over time, and time in that posture will help you release organically. And then to hold between students. So, you know, if you're having a bit of a tug of war, or if you're doing any partner practice, that can be useful as well. So really good in partner stretching drills and stuff like that. So how can I use my strap? So first option is that it's open and in its full length. So that's your 2.5 meters, and then nice long length there. Just make sure it's not twisted. So full length, that's one option. The buckle, I'm going to show you how to put this together. So you'll notice that on this side, it's got teeth. This one always baffles my students. And then you've got this one loop here, and that's what's attaching that. It's all stitched. And then you've got 1, 2 loops, and you've got this set of teeth. The teeth are designed to grip, and the teeth want to be facing down once you've got the strap in its making it into its full size loop. So once you've lengthened the strap out so that there's no twists in it, no twists, Cameron, and then you take it through the second loop like so, and then place it back through the first loop like so, so that then when it comes through, when I'm pulling it like this, those little teeth grip on and it holds it in place. So that's how to do that with those buckles. So they often bemuse people. So I thought that'd be useful to show you how to do that. It's the same thing if you've got the D ring. So you've got 2 rings, you put it through both of the rings, back around one ring, and then on the inside of the other, and you just pull it tight. Full circle, so full circle held together, that's an option. It gives you about, so just over a meter option there, and that's a nice firm grip there. Full circle is the next incarnation, so be using it in full circle. Small circle, so you just make it nice and small like that, and the tails are relevant, or small circle with a tail. So you've got all these different options. I'm going to speak to those particularly in the next section on how to use my strap in a basic yoga class. So first we go, and I've just kind of laid this out in a similar flow as a vinyasa class, and there's a couple of yin options there, but if you want to go for a deeper dive into how to use these things more comprehensively, specifically for you or for your style of yoga, then I can mentor you through that in the foundationmethod.com. Go there and do the free training, and there's a heck of a lot of stuff in the program already. And then I have my personal mentoring check-ins that I do once a week for 6 weeks if you're going on to the better option or onto the best option there. And so I can take you more specifically into all your questions around how to use that. And I will be building an advanced prop usage module for that program at some stage as well. So let's do it. The integration section. So the first one I'm going to show you here is the hamstring hammock. So the hamstring hammock, sometimes used at the start of class just to lengthen the hamstrings gently before you start going into your downward facing dog. So you'll notice here I've put it behind my head, behind my foot, and then I'm gently releasing with the chin to the chest. And that releases the whole superficial back line, not just the hamstrings. Now, if I tighten it into a small circle, and don't worry about the little bit that's hanging out, you can see I can use it in an arm fold here, where I fold the small circle into the crook of the arm. So once I've got it into the crook of the arm, I can fold my arms, and then I don't actually have to hold on to the strap or bend my arms. I just lengthen or shorten the strap to that small circle for how open or not open my hamstrings are at the time. Next one I'm using here is from a seated position around the world. So this is just a little shoulder drill. If you're doing a yoga class with a lot of shoulder focus, around the world's a really great way of opening up the shoulder, just getting that full range of mobility, warming up the joint there, so preparing it for whatever the peak postures or binds, or if you're working into inversions, a really good way to start your class as well. So the sun salute or the lunges section, or sun salute and the lunges section. First one here is the ragdoll. So feet to hip width, you're folding forward and you've got a hang. So a really lovely option here is to hold your strap either open, like in its full length, or a full circle held together, just depending on how tight your shoulders are, and then you're lifting the hands up behind. You can gently sort of sway side to side if that's something that you like doing as well. Really lovely way. I like to use a sweat towel for that one sometimes if I don't have my strap handy. Next one is a dragon lunge. So when I'm in this low lunge position, if I've got really tight quads, I'm going to take the full strap around the back foot and then pull it up over my shoulder, and then use 2 fingers to hold on to the strap. Now, I've tried to do this with the full hand, but every time you use more than 2 fingers, or maybe 3, for some reason, there's a neural pathway and the shoulder to then pull the elbow around to the front. I've seen all sorts of weird variations on that. So use 2 fingers and then pull the elbow around to the front like that over the shoulder, and then you can access your dragon lunge. Extended side angle is the next one. So this one's really good for anybody with that T-Rex arm syndrome, to try and find your arm bind. So you've got your half bind where you're taking the top hand behind the lower back, and if you were to hold the strap in that hand, reach underneath and then take the bottom part of the strap, you can crawl the fingers up towards the midline. So it's going to allow you to get that lovely length in the spine without kind of crunching and leaning forward to get the bind, which I see a lot in yoga classes. That's too much load on the lower back. So the next one here, standing postures. So the first part of the standing postures, how do I get the strap around my foot and into my hand without shuffling it backwards and forwards and having to bend at the arm and use the strength of my bicep, and that's going to pull me off balance anyway. So how do I find good alignment? And there's a really simple technique for that. So what I'm showing you here is if you put the strap around the sole of the foot and then you bend at the knees, lean forward, hold the strap in the opposite hand to foot, and then reach down with the same hand to foot with a straight arm, and then reaching as far down as you can to hold on to the strap. And as you start to pick up the foot, you're straightening the spine, straightening the legs, and if it's too much load on your hamstring, you just release the hand a bit and let the strap slide through so that then it's more accessible for you. Next one, standing big toe posture, which is essentially how we get into this pose. So taking the strap around the sole of the foot in its full circle position, full loop, and then bending forward, holding in the opposite hand, picking it up, finding that length in the posture, again, if you need to release it a little bit, and then you can take your hand out to the side and open the leg wide. So if that's too strong still and you're at full extension in the strap, you can always take the strap underneath the knee and then shorten the loop there. Dancer's pose. So this is one of my favorite uses of a strap, and you'll see I put it in a big circle. I stand into the loop with the leg that I'm going to take behind me. Then I place the strap behind the ankle and I pull it together around the ankle so that then it's coming into this one loop like that. Then I'm going to thread it in between the big toe and the big toe and the second toe, and then I'm going to take it behind the little toe like so, and then pick it up with the outside arm, again with 2 fingers, so then I can swing it up over my shoulder, and then I'm taking the top hand high and leaning forward into my dancer's posture. Really useful use of a strap. Good thing about that one, once you get comfortable with that, how that works, you can progress to taking your hands back and then holding onto the strap and go for king dancers and much deeper binds, much deeper access that you could possibly do if you were just trying to hold on to the foot. And try and balance at the same time. So the next one is our bird of paradise variation. So I've often seen people struggle into this, and it's more like bird of pain than bird of paradise. So don't struggle into it, especially if you've got the use of a strap. You'll see here I use it in its full circle. I'm taking it on the arm that is up behind me. I'm reaching underneath to take the bind on the leg that's coming up, and then as I make it up into the bird of paradise, I can then straighten my body, pull my top shoulder back, and then extend the leg there into a much more accessible bird of paradise rather than bird of pain. So the next one is floor postures. So the first one I'm demonstrating here is Kapinjalasana. Now this is essentially a very advanced and quite a dangerous posture because it's a variation of side plank that you're then rolling into a back bend with the top leg bowing in almost like a bow pose. So you can see that I've used the small circle with the tail to pull up over my shoulder here, and then I can reach back with the 2 fingers and then get that shoulder swing, the elbow swing around to the front, then to lean back and get that full bow position, the back bend in the side plank position, which is a baby Kapinjalasana. And full Kapinjalasana, you'd be straightening that bottom leg and taking it into full side plank variation. Very easy to fall back, very easy to hurt the shoulder. So we want to use our strap there until we're feeling really confident and stable. supine twist, so basic on your back, taking it underneath the sole of the foot, and it's full circle, and then again taking the straight arm and taking the leg over to the side there, so that instead of holding it with your pistol grip, if that's not in your reach, so pistol gripping the big toe, that is. Cow face pose, using a full circle held together with the strap. If you've got tight shoulders, I have very tight shoulders from a lot of upper body work, especially gymnastics and my weights training. So this is one of my nemesis parts of my body, and I find that using the strap here to take behind, and the bottom arm comes up behind to hold the strap, I can more readily walk my fingers down towards to get that bind. And if I practice this in a hot class, once I've done it for a minute or two, I can get my fingers into the bind. So yeah, it helps me get towards that without putting an intense load or too much pressure. It's something that I feel I can open up into if I use a strap, so that's really good. Reclining figure 4 glute stretch is the next one. So full circle held together, and then taking that around the knee. So if you can't get your hands through the eye of the needle there to hold on to the knee, that's a really good variation. If you find it hard lying your head back onto the ground, I mean, you can bring the head towards the knee. That's going to help you with a full back line stretch. But if you do want to relax into the posture and take your time, strap's going to help you get there. Next one is Janu Shishasana, or the head to knee posture. So again, using the strap to extend the reach of my arms around the sole of the foot helps me pull my heart forward, so that then I'm getting that real acute angle from the hips, and gives me that forward motion that'll intensify the stretch there in my hamstrings. And the final one is Paschimottanasana, or pass your toes pose, as one of my teachers used to call it. So this one is in a full circle held together to half, so like so, and then taking that around the feet with bent legs, placing the belly onto the thighs, and then starting to straight the legs out, so that you're not trying to force your head to the knees with straight legs and then putting too much load on the back. Again, you're keeping that acute angle at the hips there, so that then you're focusing on stretching the hamstrings without putting undue load on the spine. So there we go, guys. If you've enjoyed that, come through to foundationmethod.com. I've got an hour's free training where I explore 6 of the biggest problems and 6 high quality solutions that stand between you and your wellness journey. And there's a free training in there. And if you're really interested and that all sounds great, I can mentor you through the program. I can also take you through a deeper transformation into balancing core beliefs, or you can choose to do it yourself and use all of the videos and the programs that I put in there over a 12-month period. So yeah, enjoy using your yoga straps in class. Again, if you don't have a yoga strap, use your hand. Pistol grip's always really good, but yeah, come with a strap, come with a towel, come with a kimono band, and come and find me at foundationmethod.com, and I'll put all the links to everything that I mentioned in this video just in the comments there. So namaste, enjoy your practice, and I hope that was useful, and I hope it was of good service to you. See you soon.